All right, guys, so the A's played really good today. They crushed the Milwaukee Brewers in the 10th game of spring training by a final score of 9-1. And this was just a really exciting game because it seemed like everything was just going well. Chris Bassett pitched today. He allowed a solo home run to Shaw in the first, but Moreland scored with a Laureano single in the bottom half of the first. So, it was kind of a back and forth at the beginning, but the Brewers really couldn't respond to the A's offense. Austin Allen homered for the A's, which put him up 2-1. Ramon Laureano homered, his second homer of spring, off Josh Hader, who's a great pitcher. So that was 3-1 A's. And then into the fourth, it became 5-1 A's. And at that point, the A's just broke this thing open. Mitch Moreland, who has been super hot lately, he was our new free agency DH. Obviously, we lost Chris Davis, so he was our replacement. And Stephen Piscotty, one of my favorite players, they both had RBIs, which put the A's up 8-1. And then guess who finished scoring off to make it 9-1? Buddy Reed with the RBI double. I'm telling you, this guy better be playing in the regular season. Buddy Reed has been hot lately, hitting defensively. I think the sky's the limit for this guy. So he had a really nice RBI out there, which topped off the scoring, like I said, and made it 9-1. And that third inning, the bottom of the third for the A's, was spectacular. They scored 4 runs in that inning, and it was all around great. And Bassett pitched well. I mean, 1 home run isn't a big deal. And they like to shift these guys around, and Shaw's a good hitter, so I kind of expected something like that. But, I take this any day. Good way to win, especially bouncing off of that tough loss against the Cubbies yesterday. But we're going to play the Rangers, who are a division rival, next tomorrow. So that should be interesting. Obviously this is spring training. We still have to take this with a grain of salt, right? But Buddy, I think, Moreland is looking great. I think he was a great pickup. I mean, if he can do this in the regular season, Mitch Moreland, he was great with the Red Sox. He has that World Series experience. With San Diego, he was only with them for a bit, but he still, I think he has so much potential. But same with Buddy Reed. He's obviously newer. I've talked about him. Laureano has looked spectacular in spring. And, it's unfortunate that Matt Olson or Chapman didn't really, contribute so much. But I think it's good, actually, because we need to show that despite not having Chapman and Olson, getting hits. I mean, Olson had a hit, don't get me wrong. But it doesn't really matter because I think, that's the thing about baseball. There's not one guy that can lead your team. If Chapman goes into a huge slump, we can still win games. And I think that's what they showed today with guys stepping up that, normally wouldn't. Piscotty, who, he's pretty good, but he isn't always out there contributing. Moreland, who's new, like Buddy Reed. And our pitching was great, like I said. The only earned run was to Chris Bassett. He pitched 3 full innings. Diekman, Trevino, Wendelken, and Guerrera were the other pitchers. And those guys are usually everyday pitchers in our lineups, like Wendelken, Trevino, and Diekman. They're usually in our lineup, so is Bassett. But Guerrera, he had 2 strikeouts in only 1 inning, and, I'll take it, I haven't really heard of him before. So I think this was just a great win, 9-1. That's spectacular in only 7 innings. I think the sky's the limit for the A's right now. I've said this before, but let me know your guys' thoughts. We're going to play the Texas Rangers, same time tomorrow, spring training. This was game number 10. And the A's moved to 4-5, and then they have the tie. So technically 4-5-1. Thank you guys. Go A's.